This is becoming a really good habit of mine. I don't know, but creating YouTube videos and just ranting about certain stuff, it's very fun and very nice to get stuff off your chest. So let's talk about Mia Yim. Mia Yim is one of the most talented wrestlers that I've ever came across, whatever, uh, as a wrestling fan. But I do have some stuff like takes on her, not like bad takes, but just something that I feel like needs to be said about her that fans or her fans in particular are not ready to hear. So number one, when Mia Yim was in NXT, a lot of people, when she got released from WWE, let's start there. A lot of people were saying Mia Yim was one of the most underrated and underlooked talents, and WWE could have did a lot of things with her. And I see where they're coming from because when she was in Impact as Jade, and she was with the Dollhouse, I think, and she was very successful over there. She was having good matches. She became a Knockouts Women's Champion and all that stuff. You know, she competed in the Mae Young Classic. She got the crowd to chant, like, please sign Mia. And that's really good with her being a Blasian woman, POC talent. We love to see it. But the gimmick that she had while she was in NXT, I don't think that gimmick in particular would have gotten her over to become, successful in NXT, let alone NXT Women's Champion, all jokes aside. Her gimmick was she was like the HBIC, the head baddie in charge, or like the Blasian baddie, something like that. And I didn't like that gimmick. I'm just gonna be honest. It was really cringy to me. She didn't make it work. Like, we all know WWE bases gimmicks off of stereotypical stuff like race and gender, sexuality, or whatever. But a lot of times, even though the gimmicks will come off as stereotypical, some people know how to work with them and make them shine and make them come through. Mia was not one of those people. When she was the HBIC, she was supposed to be some girl from the hood who came from the trenches, and now she's representing her squad or her gang or whatever, and now she coming here to get the gold, basically, and she didn't do that, number one. And the reason why she didn't do that is because the gimmick was terrible. The gimmick was trash. Is that her fault? Not necessarily, but it kind of is, because it's just like, she just did not make it work. And the gimmick itself, it gave me, because she's 50-50 black, 50-50 Asian, but she has strong Asian features. So a lot of people forget that she's Blasian, and a lot of times they will invalidate her blackness on purpose or accident. So to me, the gimmick gave, I need to prove I'm black. Let me become the Blasian baddie and act hood, talk hood, like I'm from the streets, bro, and all that stuff. And it's just like, you, girl, no. Just no. Like, I don't know. It gave me that vibe. It gave me that energy. I'm just like, I'm not rocking with it. If you wanted to prove you were black, first of all, if you want to prove you're black, you shouldn't have to prove anything. You know what you are. Your race and DNA results speak for itself. So no. And it's just like, if you know that you're not good with this gimmick or you're not going to get over with it, why present it in the first place? I don't know if the creative team gave her this character. I don't know if she pitched it. If the creative team gave her this character, okay, I'm not blaming her. But if she like pitched this character, why? Like, what in your mind said, yeah, this is gonna get me over? Like, what in your mind said this is a good gimmick? Like, no. It was just cringe. And then her wrestling skill in NXT. Okay, Mia can wrestle. Mia's not mediocre in the ring. Mia can put up a really good match. Watch Mia Yim versus Io Shirai. Perfect proof why Asian women set the standard for professional wrestling. Watch Mia Yim versus Bianca Belair. POC, black women going at it, as they should. But when she got a title match, she went against Shayna Baszler. Now, a lot of y'all gonna be like, well, Shayna's slow. Shayna boring. No shade, all T. NXT Shayna Baszler could go. NXT Shayna Baszler knew how to storytell. She knew what she was doing. Her and Mia actually faced off in the Indies a few times, I believe. And they fought in the Mae Young Classic in 2017. Chemistry wasn't top tier, but it was enough to say we put up a decent match. And the match they put up at TakeOver, was terrible. And the only thing good that came out of that match was the Avalanche Sunset Flip Bomb from the top rope. It wasn't... other than that, the match was just really bad. And I feel like that match alone was like, yeah, Mia, we don't want you as like our champion, girl. Like, you can't even put up a good match with the champion. And like, you've known this woman for like years. Like, what in the world? I don't know. And the gimmick, it was just not it, like, at all. Like, girl, you not hood. You not no Crip, no Blood, no Vice Lord. You not with any of that. Why is you no? It just it didn't work. It was cringe. It wasn't getting over. She was trying so hard, y'all. Like, you could tell she really wanted to like get over somehow. But it's like, get over with a gimmick you are comfortable with, number one, and something you can work with. Now the creative team, again, if they pitched this for her, y'all need to do better, because y'all should have gave her a different gimmick if you saw this gimmick wasn't working. But I'm glad Mia Yim, low key. I'm actually not even low key. I'm high key glad she got released, because they were doing her dirty. Because after the whole NXT mess, then she was teaming up with Keith Lee, and they was like, oh, they're married, blase blase. And let's be honest, the only reason that they were pushing Keith Lee and Mia Yim on TV as a couple was because this was during the whole George Floyd thing, Black Lives Matter. Like, oh, we love our PLCs, knowing dang well y'all know. Now y'all know. Then she came up to the main roster. She was part of Retribution. That flopped. So much potential in that stable, and it just flopped. And then she got released. Am I mad Mia got released? No, I'm actually happy she got released, because now she can go to a company where they will use her right. Impact Wrestling. I said it from the jump. Mia getting released, I'm grateful she got to get her time in WWE, but I like to see some releases as a blessing in disguise. I look at Deonna Purrazzo. She has so much potential to be like one of the best NXT Women's Champions, and NXT released her like it was nothing. And now look at her. She was shining like all throughout the pandemic and COVID, all that stuff. She was doing her thing, and she really made a name for herself in professional wrestling. Mia Yim recently came back to Impact Wrestling, as she should, and when she was in Impact Wrestling, she found, as Jade, she was very successful. But now I think she's going by like the Mia Yim analysis. I think her gimmick is still her being like hood, but like it's more like now she's like futuristic. I don't know, y'all. I'm really behind on Impact, so correct me if I'm wrong. But I really hope that we can see Mia Yim in the future. I really hope she does win the Knockouts Women's Championship, because she deserves it. But I'm gonna go watch after this to see if she's still in that hood mess. But if she's still doing this whole hood HBIC mess, pack it up. We gotta come with something new. Like we don't